Hi everybody, it's Angelique, also known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. Stop what you're doing, click like on this video. Even though you don't watch the whole video, click like on it so that I can get in everyone's recommendations, okay? Um, what else? Yes, subscribe to this channel. Um, you will not regret it. If you're into spiritual experiences, zodiacs, narcissism, this is the channel for you. All right, so I'm gonna try to knock out a couple of videos, but first, please get those love donations in. The more love donations I get, the more content I put out. But lately, I haven't been getting those donations, so that's why I haven't been putting enough content out. Also, if you want to book a phone session with me, you can do so. $15 for 30 minutes, $30 for 1 hour. We can talk about narcissism, starting your healing journey, zodiac, spiritual experiences, friendship, whatever you feel comfortable with, as long as it's kosher, okay? All the information and how to book or how to send me a love donation will be in the comment section or in a description bar. So when you make your payment first and then email me at neoangie3000 at yahoo.com and let me know that you made a donation or let me know that you made a payment for your booking, and we can set up a date and time for your session. Thank you to everybody who has donated in the past and who has booked phone sessions with me. I really appreciate you. If I can remember, I can't remember your names. I don't want to just say one person and I say someone else. But thank you to the last 3 people who sent me donations. You know who you are. I really appreciate you. Okay, so let's get right into this video. Why I don't trust promiscuous women. Okay, if you hear cracking, it's my chair. If you hear beeping, it's my carbon monoxide battery and the alarm going off. I'm sorry. I can't help that right now, okay? Okay. Now. And I'm sipping on some eggnog with some I think it's either brandy or bourbon in here, like honey brandy or honey bourbon I used. Whatever it is, it tastes good. And that's the lactate eggnog. It's so good, okay? Even try almond milk eggnog, slamming, so good, okay? It tastes just like the regular eggnog, just to let y'all guys know. So, why I don't trust promiscuous women? So, this isn't slut shaming or hoe shaming and about that whole life. You know, I understand some people are about that whole life. That's cool. I went through my whole phase. It lasted me maybe a year from like 21 to 22, and it was ridiculous, and I had to stop because I was like, this is too many spirits. Even back then when I wasn't spiritual, I still felt like this was just too much, okay? And it was funny because I had actually got a psychic reading for my 21st birthday, and the psychic was like, you're having way too much sex. You need to stop. You need to calm down because sex is very important, and you know, you need to be very careful because sex is sacred. So, yeah. Excuse me. I know that, you know, in spirituality, I'm a spiritualist. Um it's like 50-50 when it comes to spirituality. In a spiritual community, you know, some say have sex with whoever you want to as long as it's consensual. Then there's other people who say like no, like be careful with your partners. It's not good for especially a woman, a spiritual woman, to have sex with multiple partners. And me personally, it's done disservice to me and my body and to my wound. You know, I have PCOS, you know, I was raped, I was molested, I slept with narcissists, you know, I have cysts on my ovaries. Um, I have a lot of different things that go on with my wound, and you know, that could impact my fertility if or when I decide to have children. And this is mainly the reason why I don't do it myself and I don't live that lifestyle, because it has basically taken me down. And I am such a sensitive person, and being a spiritual woman, and being an empath, literally, if I sleep with a man who's sad, who's mad, who's insecure, the very next day I feel those exact emotions. And I thought I was tripping. I thought I was bugging. I heard people talk about it. I've read, like, books on sex, and I've researched and watched videos, on YouTube about it. And I was just like, nah, this can't be. But no, literally, I've slept with someone who I didn't know they were bipolar, and I kept going, why am I feeling like I hate myself? Why am I feeling sad after I slept with this individual? And come to find out, he was bipolar, chronically depressed. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel exactly like this person. I slept with somebody who was extremely highly, highly insecure. He hated himself. Same thing. For like a good month, I was feeling the same thing, and I had to do like a spiritual bath and cleanse myself and get that man's spirit like literally out of me, because I was feeling just like him for like a good 30 days and wasn't understanding why am I feeling this way, and then he showed himself, he showed me like how insecure he is in his behavior and his comments and stuff like that. So yes, please be careful who you have sex with. And it always amazes me, like when I see those women who are sex workers, maybe they were meant to be on earth to take on all of that sexual energy. But if you think about it, I think one lady actually recently just died. um they don't know why she died. I think she died like in her 50s, and she slept with, I think she said, over 500,000 people. And I'm just like, yo, how? Wow, that's crazy. And I do think sex workers are important, but for me, I don't want to be friends with promiscuous women, and because it's been a disservice to me. So I feel, um to me, promiscuous women, so I'm not talking about me, I've never been friends with a sex worker before. I've never been friends with I'm not sure. I had a friend many years ago tell me she was a sex worker, but she has mental illness, so, and she suffers from like delusions, so I'm not really sure if that really happened to her. Was she really a sex worker, or something that she created, like a lie? Because she lies a lot, or she imagines things that happened that really didn't, basically. So a lot of her stories I can't really tell, but that was the only friend of mine who, told me professionally she used to be a sex worker, like in Manhattan. I don't know if it's true. I'm gonna ask her one day. But it's been probably about 10 years since she's told me that story, and I never brought it back up. So if somebody tells me they're promiscuous, they're a hoe, they're a sex worker, that's your business. But for me, I choose not to hang out with women who are promiscuous, and I'm gonna tell you why. So again, you have to understand, somebody who's carrying on all of that sexual energy from multiple people, all those spirits, will have a certain mind of confusion. I don't care what anybody say. They've interviewed porn stars and everything like that, and a lot of them had some really rough childhoods, really rough past. Um, Even when I had my promiscuous promiscuous mindset and whole phase, um, I felt depressed. I was in a dark place when I was sleeping with those multiple men, and within that year. And I really was in a dark place, and then I ended up with a narcissist for 6 years. So um I really was in a dark place. And a lot of these sex workers and prostitutes, or however you want to call it, or girls who go through their whole phase, if you ask them, I mean, a lot of them, some of them will say they have fun and they can handle it, and spiritually they can, and a lot of these people do have sex demons on them, but they don't know it. You know what I'm saying? When you have the succubus or incubus on you, you can have lots of sex, you know? And I remember I feel like I might have had like a succubus. Was it succubus or incubus? Because I think the succubus is for the men. It's the woman spirit, and then the incubus is for the woman. So I think it's the incubus that was attacking me, I believe. I never had any um I never really had any experiences where I felt like somebody was pinning me down or having sex with me or anything like that. But I always felt like this heaviness of like, if I don't get it, I am going to lose my mind. Okay. And back then I was like heavy into porn, like phone or cam sex back then. That was like really major. So this is 21. I'm 38 now, but this is when I was around 20, 21. And who knows, maybe my first love, or another guy who I had slept with, um, after I lost my virginity to the first guy, maybe they deposit some type of spirit in me. I'm not really sure. But I remember like I had to have sex like every day. And I had like a little friend back then that would stop by every day. And I felt like I had to have sex every day. And even if I had sex with him, I still wanted to masturbate by myself with someone on camera in front of somebody. Like it was crazy. Like I went through that heaviness, and I'm kind of glad I don't feel that way anymore. And I've been abstinent for a couple of months now, and I do that. There's times where I've actually been celibate a lot more in my 30s than I was in my 20s. Like in my 20s, I always had, if I wasn't dating someone, I had like a partner, and I actually had a F buddy like on and off for 8 years, like from my late 20s to my 30s, and ended that in 2019. Okay. But anyway, I'm putting my business out there because I don't want anyone who might be promiscuous or experiencing a sex demon situation on them. I don't want to make y'all feel bad for who you are. Maybe some of you come on earth so y'all can relieve that tension from, a lot of people out there. There's some people who they don't have game, they don't have confidence, so they don't know how to get sex from women or from men, and they have to hire a sex worker. So I'm not talking about that. But anyway, I have no idea where the hell I would even befriend a sex worker, but I'm talking about like the Jezebel spirit type of woman. She's not a sex worker, but she is this woman who uses her sexuality for harm, okay? And this is the type of woman who will sleep with your husband. Y'all are friends and she'll sleep with your husband. Every guy that you date, she goes after. I'm talking about that type of a promiscuous woman, okay? This has nothing to do with sex work, because I think sometimes y'all are doing the Lord's work, okay? But anyway, so when I start seeing these red flags and signs of these women who are just about spirits, aka narcissistic women, yeah, I like exit stage left. And I don't trust promiscuous women. I don't trust Jezebel women, because these are very dangerous women. Okay, these are the type of women who can molest your children. These are the type of the sick mindset. Okay, and I've talked about it before, where it's very disgusting and embarrassing to talk about, but even my grandmother, okay, um like would come in the bathroom when I was in a shower and just stand there. Or like all of a sudden I get in the shower and all of a sudden she has to pee every time. Every time she's been up all morning, she's peed already, but as soon as I'm getting ready to get naked and get in the shower, she somehow find a way that she has to come into the bathroom. And sometimes I can just hear her not doing anything, and I think she was just watching like the silhouette of my body. Okay, so these type of narcissistic women or Jezebel spirit women, they are very disgusting and they can't be trusted. These type of women, you cannot trust these women around your children. I'm sorry if the glasses or glare. I'm so sorry. And when I see certain signs of these women who are overly promiscuous, always need a man, can't be alone, you never see them single, you never see them in peace, I cannot be friends with these type of women anymore. Okay. And growing up, sorry, I always felt my mom was not just about spirit, but just a woman who lacked self-confidence, lacked self-love. And I always used to ask her, like, what is wrong with you? Why do you always have to have a man? My mother married 4 times. Okay, 4 times, 3 children. When my brother ended up passing away a year before me. And I asked my mom, like, if you're not married, I never seen you by yourself. I think I might have saw my mom single. I never saw my mother single because even if she wasn't married, she had like a F buddy or she was going on like multiple dates, and she always had to have a man. And when I was a child, and when I think back to it, I realized that I developed like I despise women like this because of her. And I think that is the reason why I take such pride in like being alone. Okay, yes, I want a man, but I also take pride in being alone and being able to enjoy my own company. And I know that everyone can't be like me, but I find it like mentally disturbing, emotionally disturbing, and a sign of insecurity, low self-esteem, low self-love, when a person cannot be alone at all. I think everybody should experience some type of level of singleness. Like, how do you know yourself if you're always in a relationship? And I think that's why we're seeing so many relationships of people who've been together 20, 30, 40 years getting divorced. Look what's happening like with Will and Jada Smith. I think they got married so young. They didn't even know themselves. I think they got married at like 23, 24, which is extremely young. And I think we need to definitely learn who we are and figure out what the hell we want. And some will say, "Well, I am going to figure out what I want and who I am through sexual experience." Okay, great. That is true. You just don't have to sleep with the whole damn world. But for some people, they feel I do have to sleep with the whole world in order to figure out what I want in life. And that's possible. And definitely, me having multiple partners in my life, I've learned what I like sexually and what I don't like sexually, what I want from a man and what I don't want from a man, definitely. But I also think that you don't have to sleep with 100 people. I didn't sleep with 100 people, but I'm just saying, I don't think that you have to sleep with 100 people or 500,000 people in order to experience that. But yes, it's your body, and you have the right to do whatever the hell you want to do with it, and it's your soul. Um, but yeah, so I don't trust these women because to me, they are trouble. Okay. Every time I befriended a woman, I'm like, oh wow, she's liberated, she's sexual, she's this, she's that. I noticed that she's always put sex and men before herself. That's a dangerous person. A person who puts substance abuse or food or, sex or anything before themselves, before their own well being, before their children. Recently I had to cut off a girl. And when I think about it, I'm like, a lot of us will say, oh, yeah, I could be friends with a girl. It's okay. Who she's on that whole shit. No, that means that you think it's cool. You condone that behavior and you think that's cool. And you have to understand how dangerous it is when you're dealing with multiple men, not just soul wise, but when it comes to who you're letting, how can I say, who you're letting having access to you on a physical level. And it's very agonizing to see how these women act when I'm with them, where, it was to the point, like the girl I was, going back to the girl I was friends with, she had a child. I never heard her really talk about her child. Everything was dick and a man, man, dick, this and that, this and this. And at some point, I didn't even care about her living with her baby father. And she basically called me one day and said, "Did you tell my baby father?" I was like, "Here we go. This is it. This is it. Everything is always about a man." I never had a conversation with her baby father, but she, because everything in her life is about dick and a man, she felt I ratted her out because she had a side dude, and she thought I told her baby father about this other individual who's in her life while she was still living with her baby father, which I didn't. I don't care about people's relationships. I don't get involved in my friends' relationships. Um, Majority of the time when I meet people's boyfriends or baby daddies or husbands, they end up loving me. I don't know why. People's boyfriends and husbands end up loving me. Even as a hairstylist, I've had clients say, "My husband really liked you, and this is why I cannot allow you to come to my home anymore." Yes, guys, I've had women tell me this. "I'm sorry, you can't be my hairstylist anymore. And if I do decide to use your services, I will have to come to you. You can't come to my home anymore because you're an attractive girl and my husband found you attractive." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Yes, it's crazy. So, women who don't love themselves, always putting dick first before their children, before their well being. There's women who put men before them and got their children killed because they didn't love themselves and they love dick more than they love themselves. I cannot befriend women like that. They're very dangerous. I saw one crime show of a woman, she got her best friend killed. Her best friend only met her husband once. He met her one time, thought she was attractive. She didn't know that her husband was a serial rapist and killer. Her friend was about to move to a Caribbean island, was moving to St. Thomas the next day. She sent her husband over to help her with her boxes. Her husband rapes and kills her best friend. So this is the reason why I don't trust women and I don't befriend women when I see these signs of a woman who always puts men before her. I don't want to be friends with her. I cannot trust you. You can get me killed. You're going to put me in some drama and you'll always choose dick before everything. Everything. But anyway, I'm all over the place because I'm tipsy. But I just think you should be careful. Be careful with women like this. Um, and I always find these women, they're not happy. I don't know any happy hoes. I just don't. I don't know any happy women who are always putting men before their children, before themselves. They usually live a very miserable life. They might have, the finer things. They might have a good job, money, security, but internally they're very miserable people because they usually don't find good quality men. That's something I noticed too, and that's the reason why my mother kept looking for love and got married 4 times, because honestly, the love that these women are going after is within themselves, and they don't realize that you have to love yourself first. Nobody's going to be able to make you happy. No one's going to be able to love you more than you love yourself. besides I feel God. Okay. That's just the way it is. And it really, really boggles my mind how I can watch these women go from man to man to man to man to man, and they don't stop. They don't stop. Like, what is going on? And I've seen Leo women do this. I'm a Leo, but I don't do this. But I've seen Leo women do this. I've seen Cancer women do this. um, I've seen Aquarius women do this. In Gemini women do this, and this isn't good. Okay, it doesn't have to be these signs, but those are the signs that stand out to me the most, that have this pattern. And it's just like, why are you doing this to yourself? And the majority of the time, these relationships that they go after, they don't work. They don't work because they don't have the internal love. They don't have the substance to sustain the relationships. Okay, I don't think men find it pleasurable when a woman is just so into him nonstop and doesn't have a life. I don't think so. Unless he's like a narcissist, sociopath, manipulator himself. I really don't think a healthy man, is going to want a woman who is just all about him and doesn't have anything going for herself. That's a turn off. That's a huge turn off. But I don't trust these women, and I've been friends with these women for so long, and I've noticed a lot of them, they don't focus on their goals. They don't progress in life. A lot of them end up being single, being alone at the end of all the men, okay? And a lot of them go into this whole thing where it's like, well, I'm older now. I'm in my 60s and my 70s, and now I'm going to be single. After they then went through a whole train and bus load and airplane load of men. But these women can't be trusted. They really can't. And I look for the signs. Um, it's like no man, any man can come into the room and it's just like, hey, how are you? What's going on? And it's like you have to talk to every man. He could be 15, he can be 60, he can be 30. They're in the face. They're in these men's faces. And they don't even take time to get to know people. I'm watching a millionaire. Her name is Super Cent. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's an Aquarius too, just like my mother. And I'm just like, yo, what is wrong with this woman? She's a millionaire and she's going from man to man to man to man. Now the guy she's with now, no offense, he looks gay. And I'm like, the last guy she was with, her baby father got caught with a 15, 16-year-old girl. So you had a pedophile dude. Now you're with a gay guy and you're straight. Like, you have to take time to get to know people and stop jumping on one penis to the next. But women like this exhaust me. You're hanging out with them. They're on their cell phone while you're at dinner. Why are you not texting me back? Oh my gosh. What? You're hanging out with the girls. You're out in the club or wherever. You're having a good time on vacation. What's going on? He hasn't called me. Oh my gosh. I gotta go out. I gotta go outside. He isn't calling. Everything's about a man. I can't be friends with these women. Or they go into this huge depression, moping around at work, and they're so depressed over a man who doesn't give two craps about them, doesn't even care about them. Okay? They get their fuel from men. Beware of these women. Pay attention to that. The woman that, I'm not talking about that woman who is like so liberated and you don't know who she's messing with. I'm not talking about that woman. I'm talking about this woman who is just engulfed in men so much. She's insecure, doesn't love herself. You know, she rather eat penis than eat food and drink water. That's the kind of woman I'm talking about. Not the liberated one who has balance. Because I do believe there are some women out there who can be extremely sexual, have high sex drive, and have balance, okay? Kind of like Samantha from Sex in the City. I felt like she was balanced. She had her friends, she had her career, she had, her sex life. To me, she was a balanced woman. That's just my opinion. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these women who will literally die if they don't have a male's attention. They don't really care too much about their children. They don't even care that really focused. They can't focus. They can't breathe. They have to have a man. That's the kind of woman I'm talking about. And I despise women like this. I do, you know. Um, but I would just say, please beware of these women. They don't make good friends. They don't make good friends. Every time I was friends with a woman like this with the Jezebel spirit, she put me in some shit. She put me in shit that I had no business being in. Okay, the girl told me, "Oh, you told my baby father this." Then she said I had a dream that you slept with my sugar daddy. Then it was her comparing her drug dealer boyfriend to my 9 to 5 guy. It's just ridiculous. I never heard her talk about her child. I never heard her talk about work. I never heard her talk about her goals or anything like that. The only thing she ever talked about was dick. That to me is a mentally ill woman. That's how I feel. Spiritually and mentally ill. Okay? So yes, that's gonna wrap it up. Please be careful with befriending women like this. And if you are that woman, hang out with other women with your type of spirit. Okay? Because other women who aren't just about sex, um, or putting sex before their own well being, we are focused on other things in life. We have a balance. We are balanced, okay? And if you do feel that way, maybe you should do a spiritual bath, cleanse, pray, meditate, and go celebrate for a little bit to kind of clear yourself out from those sex demons. Okay. All right. Talk to you soon, guys. I'm gonna continue to make more videos. I have like maybe 2 more topics that I want to do. Um, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but enjoy your holiday. Eat well, drink well, and live well. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to donate and don't forget to book your conversation with me. Peace and blessings.